Welcome to Gulfstream Park. It is December 21st, 2014. Christina Bossanakis, Ron Nicoletti, and another lovely day, Sunday. We've had a pretty long week, Ron.
Yeah, it's been a long week. This is our sixth consecutive day of racing, but you know what? The weather has cooperated throughout the whole week. It's just been absolutely beautiful here. We had someone the other day hit the Rainbow Six, $12.80 ticket, $240,000 plus. So we got a $50,000 jackpot guarantee. Starts in race number 5, $50,000 I mentioned, 20-cent wager. Also today in the pick 5, there is a $50,000 guarantee in that pool, and in the late pick 4, a $100,000 guarantee. So lots of fun things to do here. You know, Christina will be dark for live racing on Monday, but right back on Tuesday. Then a little break for, of course, on Christmas Eve and Christmas. So tomorrow no live racing, but Tuesday, remember to come and join us. Last Tuesday was a lot of fun.
You know, Ron, as we were looking at these guarantees on the pick 4 and the pick 5, it just reminded me of something. I was looking at the payouts for a couple of the wagers yesterday that weren't hit. The 5 of 6 for the Rainbow Six and the basically the consolation. They were pretty good. They're pretty good payouts.
Yeah, it's a great wager.
Yeah.
And, we try to explain that to people a lot of times because you know the perception is you got to have that one ticket. You know, of course you would like to get the $50,000, but if you put in $10 and you get back $250, that's pretty good. Pretty good return on your investment.
And the payouts were pretty good yesterday. So we did have a really great card on tap. We had 2 stakes, and we're going to take a look at one of the races that I was really excited about, and that was the Tropical Park Oaks. And Ron, I went with Sandiva in that race, and I thought she had a lot to do to overcome. She was in the 14 hole, but she really was masterfully ridden by Javier Castellano. Perfect trip, and she showed her class beating a very nice filly named Party Now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great race. These two were ding-dong. And the concern we had was that outside post, along with the trainer, along with the jockey. Just got a really good trip, and turned out to be a very, very exciting race. And, just another win for Pletcher.
I don't think she would have been 4-1 if she had been drawn
favorite.
Closer, right?
Yeah.
And I think just a really nice filly for El Shakab Racing. So we're definitely going to see more from her. But let's take a look, Ron, at today's card. We just had, again, another competitive card. There are a few races I'm really excited about, too, and when we get into them, you'll let me know what you think. But we'll start off with the first race on the card, 6250 claiming 5.5 furlongs on the main track. There is a jockey change. Number 6 is going to be ridden by Luca Panici. My top selection, I went with number 3, Tomei, from the Wesley Ward barn. She's dropping. She showed speed. She just got a little bit tired late. Now, that was last time was on the turf, running back on the dirt here. She already has a couple of wins on the dirt. But I think there are a couple of horses in there. You can almost mix them up. They're interchangeable. And as we're seeing there, we have the same horses, but you can mix them up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty, those look like the 3 right horses. A little information on number 3, Tomei. It was named after the actress Marissa Tomei. It was owned part by Joe Pesci and Wesley Ward, now just by Wesley Ward. So Tomei has that connection, and, Joe Pesci, one of my favorite actors. Just thought I'd throw it out there. Number 8, KB Biorhythms, who I have on top instead of the 3. And second is cutting back to 5.5 furlongs. Broke from post 11 last time out. Duel for the lead. Weekend to finish second against this same caliber of competition. What you said is absolutely true. You got to go with an exacta trifecta box. But I think these are the 3 horses. The other one being Nora in the Sky, number 7.
And right now we're looking at, and this is still early, but number 8 is at 6-1, 8-5 on the 3. And I think they're not, I can't distinguish them as much as what the betting is showing. If they're showing heavy favorite on number 2, Tomei. Number 8, good value. If she stays anything near that, I think that she's pretty.
I just think it's because she's my favorite actress.
Exactly right. On to the second race on the card, which is a 40,000 maiden claiming event, 6 furlongs on the main track. It's for 2-year-old fillies and a couple scratches, the 7, the 8, and it kicks off the early pick 4. And now, one of those scratches, the number 7, Midnight Bounty, was significant for me. That was my top selection.
Mine too.
So I went with the number 5, All Even, and this is a 2-year-old daughter of Stephen God Even from the barn of John Mazza. John Mazza, whom I know from Monmouth Park. I know they said that she's been training very well. Look at that debut. She was favored with her, and her entry mate was probably the stronger half of the entry on that particular day back at Monmouth on September 6th. But I spoke to him about a week or so ago, said she's been doing fantastic, training very well. I'm hoping I might get a little bit of a price on her.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the 7 was my top pick, and that was Midnight Bounty. Also scratched the 8 there, Noche de Versos, I think it's pronounced. I went with the 2, Everything Is Awesome. This one is dropping a notch after breaking outward at the start, finishing 4th. That was against $50,000 maidens at this same distance. Trainer Steve DeMauro, and he reunites the freshman with Paco Lopez, who rode her to that second place finish back on November 7th. So, like the connections in there, used the 10, Tripoca, I think it's pronounced, daughter of Reddy's Image, debuting for Gustavo Delgado, who I like with his first-time starter, so I threw him in.
I think our picks, Ron, reflect how deep you're going to have to go in the pick 4.
Yeah, this one, the scratch of the 7, that was it for me.
Exactly.
I love the 7 in that race, so, I mean, I just moved up my 3 selections and my other selections in there.
I don't think we have to go 5 deep, but I think you're going to have to use a few in there.
And that kicks off the early pick 4.
Yes, it does, and I think you're going to have to use several in there. On to the third race on the card. It is 7 furlongs on the main track. 16,000 maiden claiming company, and once again, these are for 2-year-olds, but these are for the colts. And we do have no scratches or changes thus far, and Larry Colmus will be on in just a few moments, and he'll give us all our updates for today. My top selection, I went with number 9, Lavandero, and coming into this off of a race on the turf last time. That was on 7.5 furlongs on the turf, and just on December 10th. So that wasn't long ago. Didn't really show anything, but it looks like he will relish getting back to the dirt here.
I got it on my ticket too, Lavandero, but I went with the number 7, excuse me, small and fast, stretching out to the 7 furlong distance. After, you look at its last race, opened up a 3-length lead, was weakening at the 16th pole to finish 3rd when dropped to this level last time out. Donna Green tabs Orlando Boca Chica to ride. He's a very aggressive rider, and I think this horse is going to be out there and trying to do the same thing. You know, even though it's stretching out to 7 furlongs, I actually think it'll be an easier time for them on or near the front end. So I went with the number 7, who we just got our exacta flip-flop here, and we both have the 3 Whiskey Ding on our ticket.
Looking on to the 4th race on the card, it is a 62.50 claiming event, a mile on the main track. And then we do have my top selection in there. I went with number 9, House on Toilsome. And let's talk about this mare for a moment, Ron. I had her last time. I really liked. She was favored actually that day. She got in a world of trouble. She didn't have the cleanest of trips. We're going to just take a look at that some of the issues that she had that day.
Yeah, and she was my pick that day too, when she just got shuffled back. And here's the thing: you're going to see her go out. That's her getting see the job. But she gets shuffled back. You can't see better from the head on. She just gets shuffled back to dead last, and the race was over basically for her. She was way back there, and just the race didn't pan out the way she wanted. So both of us, seeing that, have come back and put it on top of our ticket again today.
And I also used number 4, Out Wildcattin', David Brady. David Brady's been doing very well thus far. Just a handful of starts, but he's hitting at a 25% clip thus far. So he's doing well, and I think that this mare on the drop, she'll do okay too.
We both have the 3, Anfield Park, moved to the Peter Waldebon via the claim debuts locally after a really stellar campaign on the Woodbine Polytrack this summer-fall, in which he amassed a record of 7 starts, 4 wins, 2 seconds in the 3rd. Wald is good with new claims, but can they translate that from the Poly to the fast main track? We still haven't figured out if they've done. I don't think we've had a winner yet that has been doing that.
That's a very good observation. Folks, we're going to take a short break. We'll come back and have a look at the 5th race on the card that kicks off the 20-cent Rainbow Six.
Gulfstream Park is one of Florida's top entertainment destinations, mixing restaurants, clubs, a casino, and international boutique shops with world-class racing. In a lavish, sun-drenched setting with the feel of a Mediterranean village, Gulfstream is a leading year-round entertainment and tourist destination and the home of luxury residences in 2014. The Stronach family, owners of Gulfstream Park, is committed to the sport of thoroughbred racing and the grace, spirit, and generosity of the horse.
The Rainbow Six is back and it's better than ever. Now with a 20-cent base wager, it will expand the market for the popular bet. And in addition to doubling the base wager, the percentage return for the winners on the day the jackpot isn't hit increases to 70%, with 30% going to the carryover pool for the next program. Gulfstream Park, first post, 12:35 p.m. each and every day.
Welcome back to Gulfstream Park. We're going to have a look at the 5th race on today's card, which kicks off the 20-cent Rainbow 6. We do have several scratches in there, number 10, 12, and the also eligibles 13 through 16. And Ron, that affected me marginally. I did have Smoke Police on there who's scratched. However, it didn't affect my top selection, which was number 8, Wall Street Kitten. I'm wondering if this colt is going to be showing, if he's going to be showing speed in here. But what did you decide to do?
I went the same exact way. If you look up there, exact is the same. Wall Street Kitten moved to the Angel Rodriguez Bond via the claim, drops to the $20,000 level. First start, that race was pretty good. Made like a middle move, and finishing third is the favorite. That was against $35,000 maidens going a mile. It was on the Gulfstream Park West turf. I think this horse has a sort of a tactical advantage in there where it couldn't be on the lead if he needs to, but I think it can also sit right off the pace. Because a lot of times you say, oh, this is the speed of the speed. That does not mean that there's some other horse in the race is go out there and set some really fast fractions. So Wall Street Kitten looked like the run. You mentioned the scratch of the 12 Smoke Police. I had that horse in second, so I bumped up number 9, Colonito. This one is turned back slightly to 7.5 furlongs. Set the pace, weakened to finish fourth. It was against $40,000 maidens going a mile on the Aqueduct turf. Always like what trainer Gary Contessa does. He's a good trainer. We likes to call with Jockey Louis Sayed, who rode him to a wire-to-wire victory right here last February. That might be the speed today.
Well, there seems to be a couple of options, a couple of horses that might be showing speed. I also threw onto my ticket number 7, Toho Picaliga. Let's try.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, Picaliga. And I think he showed speed last time as well. So there might be a couple of horses that are going to be up there early.
Yeah, might have set it up. That's why I think Wall Street Kitten might have to sit off the pace. Now, here's another horse that I threw in, too. It's 12-1 in the morning line, I believe. And that's expected meeting. This one is stepping up to the $20,000 level, but closed. In its previous 2 turf races at this distance to be third. So if things get dicey on the front end, a horse like this stepping up might get, sit in the catbird seat and just whoop, get the job done.
How deep are we going to go in here for the
We're going to go very deep in this race because I'm not convinced. And that kicks off, as we mentioned, the Rainbow Six in there.
On to the 6th race on today's card, and it is a 62.5 allowance optional claiming event, a mile on the main track. We do have a scratch, number 5, Black Diamond Cat. And my top selection, now again, this is a little bit of a leap of faith. Number 6, Race Day, is my top selection. He's a colt, he's a 3-year-old colt by Tappet, and a couple of victories in his latest starts, but that was for Kellen Gorder in Kentucky. Now he's under the care of a guy we like to call Todd Fletcher, a little trainer that you guys might know. This horse is actually pretty well related, and in fact, the family's a little bit turfy, at least on the bottom side. However, Todd's got him here, and actually Todd has 2 of them in here. I think another horse that fits a little bit, None Like Nolan as well, very well bred, very consistent. I went with Race Day. And what did you do? I
went with Race Day, too, making his first start since following that maiden victory at Keeneland with an entry-level allowance score going a mile on the fast Churchill main track. Todd Fletcher, you mentioned Johnny V. Guess who I have in second? None Like Nolan, so I'm going with an all Pletcher exactor in there. And Race Day, Pletcher seems to like what he has there. Yeah, he does, and I think this horse he was purchased privately, and I think that he's going to be, like I said, he could be anything. So I'm very interested to see him today. We'll have a quick look at what Todd Pletcher had to say about number 6, Race Day.
Actually, he's trained very well. It's been very straightforward, very professional. Impressed by his last 2 wins, and he's trained like it could be a nice horse.
So that was Todd Pletcher, Race Day. He does have 2 in here. Also number 7, None Like Nolan. And another horse that I used in here, and Ron, this is a little bit, I'm not sure what price I'm going to get. I'm hoping I get a decent price. That's number 8, Undertaker from the Joe Orsino barn. He's a son of Unbridled Song. You know the Unbridled Songs, very, very fast. Now, what caught my attention is this. He was racing up in New York, and he was racing at Parks as well. I noticed the horses the company he was keeping. If you look at his race 2 starts back on January 26, now this is a while ago, however, he finished ahead of a horse named Kid Cruz. And Kid Cruz came back, won the Easy Goer, a stake. He also won the Grade 3 Dwyer, very nice horse. In his latest start, he finished second behind a horse named Charlie Millionaire, and Greg Sacco Barn, they love him. He's one of their best horses, at least that's what they told me a couple of months ago. So let's take a look back at Undertaker in that performance back in January when he won. Now, didn't have the greatest of breaks, okay?
Yeah,
as you see him,
back there, yeah.
he's a mountain of a colt. I actually can't wait to see him in the flesh. But he was taken back. He lost a few lengths early, but he still ran very well. Now the horse that was closing on him is Kid Cruz.
Right.
But that's a nice horse that finished behind him.
Yeah, I mean, so the nice thing. Look at that inside. That looks like, I think that's called snow. We don't have much of that.
We don't know. I don't know what that is anymore.
So yeah, nothing like that. But I got to mention, besides that, that's a very interesting. I got to go see back and look at that horse again. Another horse that I had on my ticket, and I got to mention, is the Three Kings Over. Was scratched the other day, turned back to a mile. If you look at his last race, he was on the lead. Looked like he was going to win the $200,000 Claiming Crown Jewel. He got a little tired. He actually got squeezed between horses in the stretch. He was tiring when that happened. You turn him back to a mile. Spoke to Peter Walder. He thinks his horse is going to run well here. Turn him back to a mile. He's a son of Trippy. Loves this 1 mile distance. 9 races, 4 wins. So,
9. You're
right.
Right.
Have him on the ticket.
Good point. And then those 9 furlong, that 9 furlong distance might not have even been is not his best trip according to Peter. So that's a very interesting selection and a horse to watch later on today. You'll probably get a price on him, I think, in there too. On to the 7th race on the card. 35,000 maiden claiming company. It is 5 furlongs on the turf course. 2 scratches, number 1, number 13, and this kicks off the late pick 4. My top selection, I went with number 8 on your Mach. Mach 1
when you go in a jet.
You see, this is why.
Mach 1 is 1,000 miles an hour.
This is why we work so well together. On your Mach, David Fox, and this colt looks like this 2-year-old is going to be showing speed in there.
Yeah, look, he's dropping to his $35,000 level. The first race since breaking his step slow. Then he goes up and he sets fractions of 20-4 and 44-2 before weakening to finish 4th. So he broke bad. They rushed him up there. He weakened in that race, and I just think he's going to be okay. David Fox, Joe Bravo, hooking up on number 8. On your Mark, going to go with Brody's pick in 2nd and Coochman in 3rd.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting race, and you're very good.
Look, we're exactly in agreement.
Wow, when does that happen? Sometimes it never happens, and then other days we are in agreement. On to the 8th race, and it is a maiden special weight for 2-year-old fillies. 7.5 furlongs on the turf course. We do have the scratch, the also eligible number 13, a jockey change number 4, Edgard Zayas. And my top selection, as I'm about to sneeze, is number 5, Resilient One. This is a 2-year-old filly by Hard Spun. Now, the mare is a stakes winner on the dirt. Ron. You look back, however, Hard Spun, he's a son of Danzig. The Danzigs, they run very, very well on the turf. In her debut on the yielding turf course, she ran very well behind a horse named Consumer Credit. Consumer Credit, a very nice horse, came back, won next time. Last time...
Won the Way to Wild Stakes in that next time out.
A very, very nice, very, very nice filly. However, that last race a little bit flat, but Todd Pletcher seems to think that she'll run better now that she'll be back on the dirt.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because I have it on top of my ticket. I have it on top of my ticket. You know, the company line that she's been keeping, and I just think she's the right one. You got Todd Pletcher, you got Johnny V in the saddle. The horse I wanted to ask you about, if you look up on the board again, we're in exact agreement, and that's the number 10, Royal Parisian. This is a daughter of Royal Applause, debuting for Chad Brown. Series of really solid workouts. Trainer Brown, everybody knows his exploits. He's 21% with first-time starters on the turf. Is this horse bred to do what it's going to do today, run at 7.5 furlongs?
Absolutely, and that's exactly why I include her. She doesn't have the experience that Resilient One does. Royal Applause, he's a very nice stallion over in Europe, and that's where most of his offspring are. That's where he's a lot better known. Here, the mare, Parisian Elegance, she's a Group 3 stakes-placed horse in England, so she was also a black type kind of mare, and Chad Brown, what can you say? Javier Castellano, these guys, you need to have them on your ticket.
And also we both have number 3, Mozambique Gold, making the first start. Ran a really promising 4th in her mile in the 16th. Career debut up at Belmont. George Weaver, Edgar Prado named to ride. Lots of things to like about that horse. That is one nice race to watch.
Yeah, and I think Mozambique Gold, I think you can expect improvement because George Weaver, that kind of trainer, you could see she was also probably a little bit green, a little bit rank in her debut. I think she's going to step forward off of that race. Also, I have to mention one horse, number 7, that's Alm Rams from the Tom Albertrani barn. And just because she's so beautifully bred, I spoke to Tom. He thought that there's a chance that she could improve on the turf. Her bottom side, Sayadati Symphony, a daughter of Sayadati. She was a champion in Europe, highweight filly at 2 and 3. So beautiful pedigree. Maybe can move up on the turf because she's certainly bred to run on the turf.
Well, our 9th race.
On to the 9th race. It is an allowance race at 5 furlongs on the turf. And we do have a scratch, number 11. My top selection, number 9, Great Attack. He's just so useful. He's just such a consistent horse. He's 7 years old now. He didn't really show all that much last time. But, Ron, I think he's in a much better spot. I think the 5 furlongs is going to help him. I think getting back to the turf, that's also going to help him.
Yeah, you look, he's had 20 starts at this distance with 6 wins, 4 seconds, 2/3. 18, really good at the distance, 18 starts and 5 wins. The other record I just gave, that's on the turf course. I did go with number 7, Bold Thunder, a stakes winner on this course, makes his local return. The first starts and setting the pace, finishing a very game second. It was a 6 furlong. It was the $100,000 Laurel Dash. Trainer Patricia Farrow ready for the turn back today to 5 furlongs. Sizzling half-mile workout in 46 and 2, which was the best time, get this, of 108 horses at the distance. I'm just amazed that 108 horses worked at that distance. Never mind that this was the best one. So Bold Thunder, Varsity, Great Attack.
Yeah, and actually a couple of horses that I use. I think Varsity is going to be I honestly think he's going to.
Favorite,
and he's going to be the one to beat Brian Lynch. He's got an Australian horse that was racing in Australia. I don't know what to make of him. So maybe we can catch up with him later and we can ask him. On to the 10th and final race on the card. It is a 35,000 maiden claiming event, a mile on the turf course. Scratches 13 through 16. Super high 5 wagering in the final race of the day. As always, I went with number 10, Jimmy Philpott, Mike Maker, and I think if you look back to some of his races, last time he ran in the slop, not so good. I think he's going to get back to the turf. That's going to be his preferred surface.
Yeah, we're in total agreement with our exact. Also through in the 8 Apple Orchard, picking off horses in the stretch. Rallied to finish second against $25,000 maidens. Really nice card. The final 6-7 races on the card are going to be tough to handicap for all those great things. Before we show the video of the Tropical Park Derby, just want to remind everybody, if you're here at Gulfstream Park today, don't forget to visit Frankie's Sports Bar. It's right over there, right behind us. If you have to track, I'll be glad to show you where it is. Great food. You know what? It's Sunday, football day. You can watch football and bet on all Christina's selections. And if, just by chance, Christina might be there this afternoon. And you never know with her. She likes Frankie's very, very much. Now you can take over and show that.
Well, Ron and I will be back, and maybe I'll be stopping at Frankie's throughout the day, so maybe you'll just be back alone. We'll be back for the rest of the day. Larry Colvis will be on in just a moment, and we'll send you off with the Tropical Park Derby, and a very nice performance in that race, Ron.
Yep. Good luck, everybody.
Cement Clement trying to take him the distance here. Other cheek. Here's Sky Flight on the outside. My Stormtrooper is next. And then Smooth Daddy. It's Cement Clement and Sky Flight coming. So too Smooth Daddy and Cabo Cat. Sky Flight has won it.